Okay, hello. That was the intro from the wonderful and talented GeoSam. Okay. Oh wait, let me see something. All right, sorry about that, but yes, I had a good day. Yeah, let's say. But I came across this interesting article today about the well, I'll just pull it up. Basically, this feminists talk about how the feminization of men is is a bad is a bad thing for women. Well, I'll pull it up. I caught the intro that time. I liked it. Yeah, like I said, uh, share screen. The feminization of men cheats women out of the natural desire to. Okay, the feminization of men cheats women out of our natural desire to admire strong men. I I like the title. It's definitely good. I already read this article before today, but let me actually make it right off full screen. There we go. Despite feminist propaganda, nothing is worse for a woman than to realize that she's stronger than her man. This is definitely an interesting article. Uh, all right. I don't know if I should wait until more people show up to start reading or just, well, start reading. But basically she argues for men being strong, right? Men being allowed to be who they are. If they want to be the protector archetype, they shouldn't really be shamed into it. She also talks about how feminized men don't really have control of their emotion, and because they're usually stronger, usually strong men are stronger than women. Those men who can't control their emotions are a danger to themselves and others. Give me a shout out. Hey, well, here we go, Bond, a shout out. She also talks about how the masculine and the feminine are basically yin and yang. They need each other to survive. Right. It's an interesting read. So let's get into it. Okay. What is it? Have you ever noticed how, as a woman, we seem to be living in a peculiar age today? Materially, it has never been easier for most women to fulfill their physical needs. Clean water, abundant food, safe dwellings. These needs are readily available to us. Well, yeah, in first world Western countries like America, there are women in other parts of the world that are not so lucky, especially in third world countries and Islamic countries. So there's that. But yeah, okay. Yet spiritually, as a whole, most women are still starved. Excuse me. Most women are still starved for fulfillment. Surveys have shown how women today are drowning in a sea of unhappiness despite the progress they've achieved in attaining equality with men. Could it be that perhaps the reason behind this wave of unhappiness is in so many women's lives arose from the diminishing power of masculine strength? I mean, there have been many men out there who really don't feel like they're needed anymore because they're the feminists are like, well, I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't need no man. So it's like, what the fuck is the man supposed to do, right? Like their roles as protectors is just not needed. So many men just up out. I mean, granted, there are still the ones that are there are still men, so to speak. You know what I mean? They still feel needed. They find a place where they're needed, and they can fulfill what they're good at. Okay, okay. Womanhood in peril. Many have pondered the question of declining female happiness. It has left them baffled. Why are women today who enjoy more equality with men less happy than women in their grandmother's generation who live under the alleged quote unquote oppressive patriarchal rule? The trouble is, these people talk about women in terms of gender and sex. What they fail to consider is the concept of womanhood itself. Hmm. I really like this article. Uh, let's see. Wow, I guess nobody really gives a shit about the coming in, or I guess not coming. I didn't even post the link. Okay. So yeah, why is it that women nowadays are unhappy despite being equal to men, right? Like why are they more unhappy than their grandmothers under the quote unquote oppressive patriarchal rule? She's gonna go into it. All right, cool, babe, cool, Bond. You're awesome. The masculine needs the feminine just as much as the feminine needs the masculine. I would definitely agree with that. Womanhood is special, and one of the most important aspects of womanhood is the relationship it has to the concept of manhood. One can't fulfill itself without the other. The masculine needs the feminine just as much as the feminine needs the masculine. It's an eternal truth as old as the concept of yin and yang itself. Tragically, today we're witnessing the extensive snuffing out of the masculine in our society. The yang is being suppressed. When the modern feminists proclaim that gender is just a made up quote unquote construct, understand that they're essentially belittling the eons of human experience. The masculine feminine duality isn't a tool that the patriarchy uses to oppress women, despite what these anti gender roles activists allege. Rather, it's an everlasting concept present in all of mankind, whether it be Eastern, Western, or Native traditions. Okay, so what do you guys think? Is she right about this? Because I think she is. Right? It's just men and women need each other. Right? Without men and women, there is no life. Now, this isn't this this isn't negating the existence of homosexuals and lesbians. Obviously, like you know what I mean. But this man, I really wish I could find the fucking words. Well, what do you guys think about what I read so far? Well, I mean, technically, I'm supposed to be giving you my opinion, but well, like I said, I think she's right on the money about a lot of stuff of what she says. Yeah, it's like yin and yang. Men and women, masculine and feminine need each other. Okay, well, just keep reading. Uh, okay. Whether it be Eastern, Western, or Native traditions. Okay. The natural feminine desire to admire strong men. Here we go. You'll find that the masculine and the feminine are rooted in the same universal principle everywhere throughout human history. There's a unifying force that represents the feminine and the masculine in every yin, every variation of all cultures around the world, and they all share the same idea. Take the case of the ancient Oriental symbol of yin and yang, where yin represents the female and yang the male. Yin is the receptive and yang is the active principle. Yin is characterized as slow, soft, yielding, diffuse, cold, wet, passive, and is associated with water, earth, the moon, femininity, and nighttime. Yang, by contrast, is fast, hard, solid, focused, hot, drive, and active, and is associated with fire, sky, the sun, masculinity, and daytime. One can't overrule the other. Womanhood and manhood have to work in tandem. It's a symbol of the continuity of life itself. Yang, masculine, positive, sun, light, heaven, active, fire, energetic, heat, driven, goal oriented, vigor, intellect, awake. Yin, feminine, negative, moon, dark, earth, passive, water, calm, cold, free, acceptance, ease, intuition, sleep. Photocred, yin inspired yoga. Poetically, you can think about it like how the moon receives her light from the sun, and if her sun dies out, she too will stop shining. So when masculinity is taken away from manhood, womanhood will suffer along with his death. This is the tragedy we're observing in American society today. Men are constantly presented as losers, abusers, and predators in so many instances of pop culture, and therefore masculinity should be redefined. Like when Harry Styles insists that manly men wear dresses. Bring back manly men. A feminine man is an emotional wreck. Okay, now we're definitely getting to the more good parts. Well, I honestly don't. Well, okay, I guess nobody gives a shit. But you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna do it. But I'm just reading it for myself. A feminine man is an emotional wreck. Men are told to cry more and to let go of their bottled up emotions. Yet a masculine man is someone who holds a solid command of his emotions. When a man is driven by his emotions, he's less likely to make decisions based on rational thought and will often give in to his feelings. Crime, abuse, violence, and cruelty are all aspects of his irrationally driven emotions. A man who fails to anchor his masculine energy will ultimately lead himself to self destruction. Biologically, men are stronger than women. This is simply a fact. And knowing that fact, a man who is self aware about his own power knows that he's capable of physically dominating a woman, which is why he has to keep his emotions in check at all times. Crime, abuse, violence, and cruelty are all aspects of a man's irrationally driven emotions. Uh, I really would want Williams. Wait, hold on. Let me let me actually invite some people. I should have done this before. Yeah, fuck it. I'll just do this. Excuse me. Oh wait, wrong. Oh yeah. All right. I need to go on YouTube. All right. Well, I guess I invited. I posted the link in chat. Oh, not this chat, but yeah. Let's get back to reading. Okay. Men who fail to keep their emotions under control are often dangerous to women and children. Think of domestic abusers. These abusive men are not guided by reason. There's no rationale benefit in hurting your wife and kids. This inability to take control of their emotions is what drives them to physically abuse their children and women. It's therefore crucial for men to understand and properly embrace their power and strength, because within every man lies a warrior knight who is capable of great harm if his masculine energy isn't properly channeled for good, as likewise within every woman lies the nurturing and the devouring mother. Oof. In defense of the masculine warrior archetype, let me see, is anyone backstage? No. No, nobody gives a shit about this topic, do they? uh, okay, well, in order for womanhood to be complete, we have to be able to fulfill our femininity. The same principle applies to men in their fulfillment of manhood. Part of achieving healthy masculinity is for men to be able to be allowed to embrace the warrior archetype in them. However, this journey of self fulfillment is often denied to the men in the Western world today. Only the most narcissistic person could dismiss an age old archetype that was created through the many millennia of human tradition as quote unquote outdated and quote unquote old fashioned. Sadly, this is a common phenomenon often seen in modern feminism. So when the feminist declares, "I don't need a man to rescue me," it's the yin eliminating the yang. It's an act of dismissing the value of male strength. Okay. I Yes, this topic is very important. I like what it says so far. Hello, Stephanie McGuire. I've seen you comment on some of my videos lately. Uh, all right. If a man wants to act as a strong protector, he shouldn't be chastised for trying to fulfill his manhood. Obviously, a woman shouldn't regress to being a helpless victim who is incapable of taking care of herself. The point is, it's important to acknowledge masculine virtues. If a man wants to act as a strong protector, he shouldn't be chastised for trying to fulfill his manhood. The father as the protector. Okay, let me see. All right. The father as protector. When a woman realizes that her partner is soft and weak, her motherly instinct kicks in, since it's a natural impulse in women to be nurturing. This will basically make a woman feel like she is her partner's quote unquote mother, because she's driven to protect him like how she protects helpless children. If you think this is a sexist claim, know that women are more likely to spring in and help a crying child who is lost when compared to men. It's a natural feminine instinct, kind of like when we see another woman who is crying or being hurt by someone else. We feel a need to help her out. However, if we saw a man in the same position, we'd only feel compelled to help him out after we know he isn't trying to manipulate or tricking us into caring for him. Sad fact of life. Well, I mean, can't really complain about that. That's just a sad fact of life. All right. So let's see. This is a rational reaction to any circumstance. To any circumstance, in order to help them weak, you have to be a sister. You have to be in a stronger position to help. For example, if a woman is attacked by someone, the last thing she'd want is for small children to try and save her, because she knows not only will the children fail, they'd probably be also get hurt in the process. So in the culture today, where men are encouraged to be like women, our natural feminine instinct is essentially messed up, because women can no longer rely on the men to protect them anymore. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Let's see, it's not done yet, but to men who exude a protector type aura, even if they try to deny this attraction. Humanity has distilled this into the archetype of the knight in shining armor who slays dangerous monsters in order to rescue his maiden. The damaging war of the sexes. Imagine if the tables were turned and men dismissed the importance of tenderness and sweetness as an important part of our nature as women. The male parallel to the feminists I don't need a man to rescue me would be the MGTOWs who needs female tenderness. That's for wimpy losers. You know, it's very rare. I, what the hell? Oh my god, Sam. I'm not. You know what? I'm gonna ignore that. I mean, I'm reading an article written by a feminist talking about this stuff. That's not really. uh, You know what? Whatever. When you make a villain out of the other sex, you're waging war against everything the other side stands for. The feminist declaration that the future is female is basically the same as the MGTOW's declaration of men going their own way. When you make a villain out of the other sex, you're waging war against everything the other side stands for. In the case of the war between the sexes, it's done by labeling masculinity as quote unquote toxic, the radical feminists, or by stereotyping the female gender as resource parasites, the MGTOWs. Psychologically healthy people recognize that the male desire to be strong and protective of women is not toxic, quote unquote, it's traditional masculinity. And the desire of women to admire a strong man who is capable of providing for and protecting her is absolutely normal. Men shouldn't be compelled to shed his masculine virtues. A man shouldn't be compelled to shed his masculine virtues for the sake of political correctness, quote unquote. As previously mentioned, like how the symbol of yin and yang represents the continuity of life, separating the yin and yang thus disintegrates the continuity of life itself. It's why, as women, we must insist that men remain masculine and embrace their manhood proudly. Okay, yeah, that was an interesting article that I ran across this morning. Oh shit! I closed it. Strong men for the win. Yes. Yeah, Bond gets it. Wait a minute. I actually did. Oh wait, hold on a sec. Oh yeah, I put it in the description, so I can always just open it and save it later. But yeah, I figured I'd read that. It was a very short article. I know I did most of the. I know I did a lot of the reading. That's because, well, what else is there really to say? It's a very good article written by a feminist about the need for masculinity. I don't know. I mean, if you consider if you consider that Tate-esque, then I can't really help you. Like, is someone masculine? Okay, well, is someone masculine going to speak about this topic? Ha ha ha! Funny, Wilson. I mean, my personal thoughts about the topic is that I agree with what she says. Right? Masculine and feminine need each other. Right? Men and women need each other. There has to be a balance between the two. Right? Like yin and yang don't overtake each other. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to articulate very well, but I mean, yeah, well, it's fine, I guess. Yeah, it's fine, Wilson. Look, all I'm gonna say about this is that I think she's right. Okay, I think she made a lot of good points about femininity and masculinity needing each other. Now, obviously, she was focusing on men and women. She didn't really go she didn't really go into lesbian relationships. She didn't talk about lesbians and and homosexuals, which okay, I don't it's beyond the scope of that. But it doesn't it doesn't mean that they're not just as valid. Well, yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't really have anything else to say about it. Oops. Yes, like yin and yang. Well, I guess that's pretty much it. Just wanted to read that and just give some thoughts on it. So, yeah.